Las Vegas, Nevada. What a great place. It is a fun place to be. I'm not so sure I would want to live there, but definitely fun to visit, even though I tend to leave a little bit poorer than when I arrive, but that's a whole nother issue. I'm trying to work through that. We're getting you ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. It's set to ring here in about 6 minutes, and of course, we'll take you there. Pre-market trading, as you can see from our board, looking pretty good. Only one blemish. It's at the very bottom. That would be crude oil. Everything else looking positive at the moment. We'll take you to New York for the opening bell at the stock exchange, though, here in just a little bit. But first, let's get you checked over with David. David, good morning.
Good morning, T. Bates. All right,
over.
It's time now for.
Why I said checked over.
I was just going to let it go, but
like
you
you're
brought
a doctor. It up. Okay.
Checked over.
Anyway, good morning.
All right. Thank you, T. Bates. All right, time now for our daily dose of dollars and common sense. Let's check over with American Sunrise Early Edition host, the guy behind Jake's Take Substacks, and a man who never did figure out why they put the obituaries in the living section of USA Today. You know what? That's a great point, Jake Novak. Why did they do that? Are you scratching your head? Can you figure it out this morning?
Well, it's almost like a sick joke. The living section. I mean, I'm sorry. I guess you could say that death is a part of life, the circle of life. But I always thought that was kind of a sick joke that their obituaries were always in the living section. I don't know. Do they even have a hard copy of USA Today anymore? Used to be a good paper. Yeah. And then somewhere in the middle of the first Trump administration, they went woke like everyone else. Used to be a good way to know what was going on in the whole country. Speaking of mourning and obituaries, I mourn USA Today pretty regularly. I used to like that paper.
Yeah, for sure. That print ink on my fingers. Oh, I miss it. Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
All right.
Best sports section in America.
Correct. So they keep calling the stock market rally the AI rally, but you say that's not quite accurate. Yesterday was proof. What's this? You're doing this? Man.
Yeah, yesterday SoftBank, which is a big investment bank in Japan, sold all their NVIDIA shares. Not because they think NVIDIA is garbage, but because they wanted to invest in another part of AI. They're going to put all that money in OpenAI, the people who make ChatGPT. Well, the markets freaked out about it. They didn't like it. While the Dow was surging to all-time highs, 500 plus points yesterday. The Nasdaq lost yesterday because it's an NVIDIA market, not specifically an AI market. It's part of because NVIDIA, of course, makes AI chips. But you know what, David? I don't like when one company has so much of an effect on the markets that even a move within the same sector turns it down as far as the Nasdaq was concerned. It looks like, by the way, it's going to gain all the losses back right at the open this morning. So nothing to really get nervous about. But I don't like that. Also, I don't like talking about NVIDIA all that much because it's boring. It's an amazing company, but all we ever do is show pictures of their CEO and their chips. It doesn't even have sexy video. I'm just so sick of it, but I can't avoid it. And that's another reason why I'm mad.
Yeah, you know what I can't avoid? Why they don't have an I in front of the N for NVIDIA. That's what frustrates me on a daily basis. All right, I know you're as sick of woke companies lecturing the rest of us about how inclusive and understanding they are, but apparently Apple just proved once again that that's all a bunch of pulp. Pulp.
Yeah, Apple pulp. It's just so ridiculous.
Nicely
China,
played.
the Chinese communist in a religious country told Apple they want to get rid of the gay dating apps that are on the Apple App Store in China. So Apple snapped to and did it real quickly. A couple things. Not only is this another example of hypocrisy, these are the same companies that lecture us about how inclusive they are and how you're not inclusive enough and we will lead on the environment and LGBT and all that kind of stuff. But there's another thing here, David. I was reliably informed that hatred against gay people and discrimination against gay people was because of religion. It was the religious people who were doing it. Last time I checked, China doesn't have a religion. Chinese government is anti-religious. Ask the people who are trying to be Christians there or Falun Gong or Uyghur Muslims. And I thought that it was all religion that was bad in the world. I always tell people, don't get into the body count debate with me when it comes to how many people have been killed by people with no religion versus people with religion. China keeps winning that game for me and proving that religion isn't really the source of hatred that people think it is.
Great point. And you're never going to see a Bible study in an open park there in China. We're not going there for sure. All right. Finally, Jake, I guess evidence that the seller's market in cars and trucks that's been the story in America since COVID, I guess that's now changing. So explain this. We got about 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, good news. Listen, the COVID lockdowns killed supply chains, and so they really made it great for the sellers. They didn't have a lot of supply, and they could really squeeze you and me. We're now seeing car dealership lots get more and more crowded with unsold cars. If you think that's bad news for the the car companies, they're actually still doing pretty well. It's just they're finally getting their supply chains up. and the buyers are going to start coming back. I hope that everyone watching here who's in the market for a new car goes into their dealership with that knowledge. You do have more leverage than you did just a couple of months ago. 3.14 million cars on lots right now so far in November alone. So let's go get them, squeeze that dealer, get a good deal for yourself.
Jake Novak, news you can use on a Wednesday, on a hump day. Thanks, Jake. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right. Oh, he gave me the salute. I like that. Let's head back to T. Bates in Denver for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. It is sponsored by AMAC.
The Association of Mature American Citizens is the conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.
It's the one time of year the Birch Gold Group gives away free gold. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But first, you hear the applause there at the New York Stock Exchange, which means that the bell is going to ring here in short order, and then we'll get an idea of what the markets are looking like on this Wednesday of trading. All right, bell, there you go, right on cue. There is the bell, and so the markets are now officially open, and let's see how things are looking. So far, generally so good. The S&P 500, the Dow Jones looking up. It looks like the Nasdaq is down slightly at the moment. That very well could change here in short order, and right on cue, it has changed. In general, a good start to this day of trading, particularly on the indices. We'll, of course, continue to monitor it for you throughout the day. But as I mentioned earlier, it is the one time of year that the Birch Gold Group gives away free gold with every qualifying purchase. That's right. For Black Friday, when you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold, the Birch Gold Group will send free gold to your home for every $20,000 that you purchase. Gold started off the year around $2,600 an ounce, and by October, it was over $4,000 an ounce. Why, you ask? Well, you can blame global uncertainty. 2025 has been defined by trade wars, central banks are pulling away from the US dollar as the global reserve currency, and military tension continues to build around the world. Gold tends to thrive in times of uncertainty. So if you're looking to diversify your savings, the Birch Gold Group says it can help you. Plus, now through November 30th, you can get free gold with a qualifying purchase. All you have to do to get more information is text the word America to the number 989898. You can also claim your eligibility that way and get free information on gold. But your opportunity for free gold with the purchase ends on November 30th, so you may want to hurry up and text the word America to the number 989898 for full details. Still to come here on American Sunrise, nearly 5 years after January 6th, questions still swirl over fairness and accountability. So are some facing tougher justice than others? We'll break down the controversy next.